G'day everybody, welcome back to Barreled Surf Podcast. It has been a little while between drinks. This week on the show we have the live podcast that we did in front of a live audience at Yahoo Surfboards in Dunsborough. We had four of the legends of the Southwest community joining us on the night to talk about all things shapers, surfboard design, and a few stories as well. We had Barry Young, we had Mark Hills, we had Bob Monkman, and of course, we had Billy Gibson. Thanks for having a listen. Enjoy the show. As usual, brought to you by Cheeky Monkey Forester Estate, Shark Eyes Wetsuits. And if you are getting some plumbing done, speak to Azzy's Plumbing and Gas. If you do need some finance, speak to Dunbay Home Loans. Now it's on with the show.
Barrel Surf Podcast.
Barreled Surf Podcast.
Barreled Surf Podcast.
Barreled Surf Podcast.
Barreled Surf Podcast.
Barrel Surf Podcast. Yeehaw!
All right, legends, sweetheart Yahoo Surfboards. All right, welcome to Barrel Surf Podcast. We are live in the Yahoo Surfboard shop. Stoked to be here. It's all about the shapers today. Relationships between shapers and surfers, paramount within the surfing world. One of the people I like to talk to about that very, very soon is carryover champion from the Margaret River Classic, the single fin, the plumber to the stars. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Adam Kennedy. I think I've got the microphone working for you there, mate. Let's see. If you've listened to the podcast, you know that tech is not always our friend, so...
It's not. No, good to be here. Thanks, everyone, for coming down. Mate, love hanging out in this shop, whether it's got 150 people in there or just Wade on a winter's day trying to talk me into buying another gun that I don't need, that I generally end up walking out with because he paints a picture of some empty bommy somewhere, something. And I'm, oh, fuck, that sounds good. What board do I need for that, Wade? But
you're an easy mark, mate.
I'm an easy money, easy money. But no, thanks for coming down. Awesome to be here. Pretty frothing to get the old boys up here and hopefully just hand the mics to them and, kick back, have a beer and listen to their stories.
That is going to be the key tonight. And why don't you introduce our first guest, mate, and I'll see if I can actually get some music, a little sting while we do that.
For that, though, give it up for Namu, king of 2 foot, puppers, left-hander, DJ Namu. Thanks for putting it all together, mates. He gives everyone else intros, but he never gets one himself, so...
Thanks, mate. I think there's a few 2 foot puppers kings out here today.
There's a few in this shop.
Put your hands up if you're 2 foot. We got a couple.
Oh, yeah, there's
one at the back.
Big Al down the
Johnson.
back. Big Al, he's a contender.
Oh, it's Surfboards for Cynic, Al.
Yeah,
I believe his name is. All right, who we got coming up?
All right, so our first guest is repeat offender. He's an absolute weapon of a human, a serious frother in the surf. He actually took me for my first ever surf down south many moons ago, so I got a special spot in my heart for him. He took me out to Huzzers. I was scared shitless. It was the biggest waves I've ever seen. He trudged up to South Point and he said, whatever you do, you kids, you don't come to South Point, you stay here. And mate, I was looking at South Point just going, holy shit, I hope I don't get sucked over there. It was the scariest looking place I've ever been, and Billy just left it out of Huzzers. So that was my first ever down south surf, mate. He once ran guided tours of the Northwest in a convoy of troop carriers that he managed to roll off the cliff onto the beach at the Bluff, landing him in hospital for a fair while. Pretty good tours there, surf tours. He has the unique ability, this man, to close his eyes, rub his nutsack down the rail of any 70s single fin and be able to tell you the shaper and the year of manufacture just by how it fluffed up his pubes. It is none other than Billy G. Gibson. Yeah, Billy.
Yeah, Billy Gibson. He is a smooth criminal.
Thanks, mate. Gee, what an introduction.
Yeah, well, it's all true.
I'm scratching.
Yeah, well, you got to wipe the phone dust off next time. It won't give you so much friction.
Oh, yeah.
It's no, mate. Billy is an expert of old singlies. He's restored a whole bunch for me, and look, I might have stretched the truth a little bit, but he could actually look at a singly and go, "That's not the right fin for that era." Like, mate, he's passionate, and he's got a pretty hell collection. Bought a few up there, and Got any new ones to the collection recent, Billy?
I've just picked up. I've just picked up a Victorian board. Good mate Bob Smith will probably be interested in. I can't even remember the name of it now, but it's.
You remember how it felt though, didn't you?
It's a Pat Morgan. Sorry, it's a Pat Morgan,
Oh,
and it's an orange Pat Morgan, and it's belonged to an old surfer from around our district, Tomo. And Tomo passed away a few years ago, and.
Tom Hoy?
No, Colin Thompson was his name.
Oh, yeah.
He's a Victorian. Anyway, he grew up around Wayne Lynch territory, so this was one of his boards, and I suspect it's a Wayne Lynch. It's a keel. It's something really, what I love, something really different, you know, but a beautiful pintail with a keel. Pat Morgan, my good mate Bob Smith in Victoria will probably fill me in more on its history.
Sick.
So,
that'll be your homework tonight, won't you? Get home.
Yeah, I got homework.
So it could be a Wayne Lynch.
Yeah, it could be a Wayne Lynch.
Collectible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably pretty collectible. And not what I'm chasing. It's something different in a surfboard. This is a beautiful pintail with a keel. You know? And whether you loved them or you hated them, the keels were a part of history which you got to look at and scratch your head and go, why? Why is it so?
Yeah, sick, man. Yeah, well, Billy's had a pretty sick shed set up in Coromut, but you don't have that one going at the moment, do you? It was pretty good hanging out in your shed down there. It was like this, boards everywhere, and but that's not happening at the moment. You're moving it to your place or something?
I've moved it to my place, and I've got a shed that's nearly as big.
Yep.
And just as many boards, so
if not more.
Yeah, I'm always looking for new ways to rack boards and make more space. So I recently got rid of a few, which is I don't do too often.
No.
But mostly Victorian and New South Wales boards.
Just get rid of those things though.
Yeah, I don't need them. Too many good shapers in West Australia.
For sure. Sick, man. All right, well, so we get everyone else up.
Yeah, so awesome to have you here, Billy. Welcome along. And our next guest, ladies and gentlemen, he is a former guest on Barrel Surf Podcast, so good to have him back. This fella does not mind a little sing, if you don't mind. If we get a couple of cheeky monkeys into him, you might have another sing tonight. But he is a former surf industry stalwart. He doesn't mind a left, ladies and gentlemen.
Tropical left at that.
A tropical left. He retired at 22. I think, anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Barry Young.
Yeah, Bazza.
There's no rain in Barry's world.
No rain.
No rain. Only palm trees. Grab that microphone there, my friend, and we'll get you on there.
I don't even need it.
Yeah. It's got the natural microphone.
It's true. It's true.
So how are we, boys?
Going well, Matt.
Good.
Going
now,
well.
before we go into this beautiful shop and look at the boards around us, and let's just talk about your bromance, Jack winning bells.
Oh, yeah,
First,
nice. That was
first
good.
West
How
Oz-
good was
first-
that? Give it up for Jack Robbo.
Yeah.
Winning the bell. How good was that?
Yeah, Jack
That was sick.
Robbo.
Well, he's the first since Taj. That's
Yeah, West Aussie.
18 years ago.
Not the first West Aussie. you
Yeah,
mean.
sorry.
Is that how long it was since Taj won? 18 years.
2007.
How good.
Wow.
But then,
Wouldn't have picked
fucking
that.
hell, he couldn't make an end turn in Burley, could he?
No, I know.
What was going on that? Two
He
heats in a
lost
row,
it.
just couldn't finish it.
Oh,
I don't know.
look at the waves, though.
Yeah, that's true. But no, that was a pretty epic Anzac weekend. Watching Robbo take the bell, ring the bell. So it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Back in your old stomping ground, where you used to do business with pleasure, Baz, in Torquay.
Yeah, a lot of conferences with Quicksilver and Rip Curl down that neck of the woods.
Is that what you used to call the surf?
Well, you couldn't get a job at Rip Curl or Quicksilver unless you learnt to surf. So they as the companies got bigger and bigger, they basically have to get accountants that were coming from, big companies like BHP, because the companies were getting that big. But if they didn't surf, they had to learn to surf.
Yeah, good.
And every conference we ever had was, the surf, like you go to a normal business conference and you're working from 9 to 12, you stop for morning tea at 10, and then you go into the afternoon. Well, the great thing about a Rip Curl Quicksilver conference was that basically it was all planned around the surf. So depending on whatever location we were at, and there was a lot of really good locations they let us have a conference at, it was part of the rule that surfing had to be on the agenda.
Pretty much.
Far before anything to do with business.
Yeah.
You know?
Nothing's really changed then, huh?
No.
Not really.
I was about to say,
no.
It's like the construction industry in Dunsborough and Margaret River.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, try to find a plumber when it's 4 to 6 foot offshore.
Yeah.
Don't call me on Wednesday. Have you seen the forecast?
Talking about the guy to my left, it's absolutely no chance.
No.
Now, before we do...
I'm trying to give you business, but I can't ever reach you, so...
No, I'm always replying to your dirty text messages on that group chat that you're sending. What's it called? We Talk Shit?
Yeah, we talk shit. That's right. We talk shit.
You're one of the main contributors on that.
Yeah, try my best.
Shout out to our young gentleman up the front here as well. We'll try to do our best with the language, but, I don't know if we called the language, but pretty much everyone knows there's a bit of swearing on the show.
This is like Danny's 5th podcast. He's pretty used to it by now.
He's
Danny
on it.
Jones, he knows.
Now, before we do move on to our next guest, I would just like to ask everyone in the room, have you got some raffle tickets? He sure does. Don't you worry about that. Some of the incredible prizes today come from the Salt Merchant, Creatures of Leisure, Yahoo, obviously. We've got more Creatures of Leisure stuff. We've got some Shark Eyes gear. We've got Red Bull Sunnies. We've got more Salt Merchant, Yahoo, and Z-Shape stuff. We got all the gear, actually. We got some Una socks. Ocean and Earth are even coming to the party. So if you haven't got a raffle ticket, go get some, because you might be a winner. All right, our next guest, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see this one. You may know him from Surf Reports, Surf Shops, Surf Trips. This guy is also a surf industry retail icon. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mark Hilsey Hills.
Yeah, Hilsey.
Now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now. The Funk Soul
He is pretty
Brother
funky and
right
soul.
about now. The Funk Soul Brother.
All right.
Check it out now.
There we go. Now I'm going to let you interview Hilsey.
No, that's not my gig. It's your gig.
He's DJ Namu, mate. He just plays tunes. It's now up to you. We decided after our 6-hour two-piece epic with you, Baz, that maybe you should just have the mic a bit more.
Oh, well, there might be a few people here that I don't even know who you are that will go, what the fuck is this guy going on about? So who is he? Where's he from? Because I'm not getting out there as much these days. I'm on a bit of a rebuilding program, but I might be completely delusional. But one thing that as I look amongst the faces here, at some stage the pop-up is going to disappear from your lives. You may not think you can think you can surf to 90, but as I approach 80, I'm just going that it's a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be now. So, yeah. So
mate, I'm sure in good time they'll find out that you've got stories of gold, Baz, and most of the people here have probably already listened to your epic, so they know who you are, mate. You're like famous in the world of BSP now.
My own lunchtime.
Yeah. No, our lunchbox too.
Yeah.
And mate, Hilsey, how the hell are you, mate? Thanks for coming down.
Oh, thanks
I think you were supposed to introduce Hilsey there, but he got sidetracked.
All right, I'll do it again. I'll do it again.
I paddled onto his peak.
He paddled onto his peak. That's a good one.
Hilsey, what's been going on,
Hilsey?
mate? Oh, sorry, you go. What's been going on, mate? Good to see you back in. We had a chat here when the podcast sort of first started. It would be 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
We sort of sat here and had a good little chat about all your adventures and all the rest of it. So welcome back to your own place, essentially.
Well, it's a great spot to be, isn't it? You know, it's,
It certainly is.
I still look in here and you like as a kid, it's just a big toy shop. And, so thanks for everyone turning up and being involved with it, because it's a wonderful shop. It's a great spot to be.
All right, our final guest that is going to come up to join us tonight is also a surf industry stalwart, a Western Australian surfing legend, head of another legendary West Australian family. He's got more state titles than I've got hot dinners, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob Monkman.
Yeah, Bobbo.
And here he is. We're going to do a bit of sharing of the microphones here. So Baz and Hilsey are going to share there for now. Go, Edsy.
How are you, Bobo?
Going good, lads.
Mates,
Going real good.
we did an epic podcast with your daughter Holly, who's in the crowd here somewhere tonight. I can only hope you perform as well behind the microphone as she did that night. It was a bit of a special night, that one, with the girls in the shed. But one thing that popped up that night, I didn't know you had a nickname called Bob Again. Have you heard about this one?
No, I haven't heard that either.
Oh, come on. I think you have.
No.
You haven't?
No.
Well, apparently Holly's husband, Made, is it?
Yep.
Mate, he reckons that for those that don't know or have ever seen Bob in the surf, mate, he's... how old are you, Bobo? He doesn't know. 70-something. Mate, this guy has got so much energy, and the amount of waves that he catches, and he's not just standing there either, he's tearing them, and he's just straight back out, straight back out, straight back out, so much so that Holly's husband, Made, reckons she calls him Bob Again. He calls him Bob Again, because he's just like, oh, there goes Bob again, there goes Bob again. So, mate, pretty inspirational. I had an epic session with you up north at a long left-hand reef break a couple of years ago, and it was just that perfect 3 to 4 foot, wasn't too crowded, and I'll tell you what, man, it was Bob Again. Every time I was like, Bob Again. I was like, I see how he got that name. So, yeah, still ripping, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you all have seen that, and we can only hope that we all surf like that when we get to that age, because I feel like I'm not like surfing like that already. So,
yeah, Baz is talking about the pop-up problems.
yeah.
Already there, my friend.
Yeah.
Already there in a big way.
Anyway, you been surfing lately, Bobo? What's been happening?
That's my job, mate.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sick. Very professional,
Bob
ain't you?
Hawke surf team.
It's been going good. It's been a great autumn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, been going hard. But the other day I was out surfing Moses, and I get back home after having a surf, and Amber rings me up, and I said, "Oh, yeah, you going, Amber?" She says, "Bob, you've left your surfboard behind." So
He normally only leaves his wetsuit or forgets to take he's forgotten to take his board. But he's never left it at the beach before.
no, I've never done it before, but you know,
What, even with all those chillums back in the 70s?
not that I can remember.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
yeah.
anyhow, she said, "Oh, don't worry, we're going to be here for another few hours." So I just cruised at home, had breakfast, went home. The first surf was very average. And I got back there, the tide had filled in, it picked up a bit, had
nice.
a blinder.
So
So thank God
and
I
everyone
forgot
in-
my surfboard.
Maybe you should do it more often.
Yeah.
Just leave your board there. And
Everyone in
come
the
back.
lineup's like, oh, here's Bob again. Coming back for his 4th surf. Sick, mate. Yeah, well, hopefully we get some good war stories out of you old warriors. And we're gonna put the mic into your hands a bit and see if you can come up with a bit of dirt on each other. So if anything ever springs to mind, just feel free to put your hand up, grab the mic, and tell us a yarn.
I think they're going to definitely do that. But before we do sort of jump into some of the stories between these guys, so I reckon once they start, they won't stop. One of the things we didn't get too much into, Baz, when we had you on for our couple of nights down at your beautiful property in Yallingup, is telling us too much about your sort of shaping background, because as well as the retail stuff, you're involved with a bit of shaping as well.
I when I think of guys like Zach and a lot of other people that are just so good as shapers, that wasn't the best part of my life. But I grew up in South Australia, so I grew up in Adelaide, surfing there, and did a trip up the East Coast when I was about 17. Came back to South Australia and got offered a job to learn shaping at 18. I don't know if 18's a good time to start, but they thrust me into it, and I sort of was okay as a shaper. There was another guy there called Wayne Dale who was basically teaching me, and but he was a really good shaper, and I sort of was picked as a ghost shaper for the Wayne Lynch evolution boards that were sort of making their mark in the country. It was a really popular board, and it was the first time boards started to come down from sort of that Mal era of the 60s, like mid-60s, late 60s, but this was like 1968. So I was a ghost shaper for Waynedale, and the company that had a contract with Wayne to produce these Evolution boards in South Australia. So I did that for about, I think it was about 18 months. And unfortunately, my shaping career came to an end because I got called up for Vietnam. So I headed over to WA, not to hide out, although that would have been a really good thing to do, but just basically to think, well, I'm just going to go surfing somewhere where there's good waves. I'd met quite a few WA guys up on the East Coast when I was travelling up there. And so, yeah, I came over here, and that was sort of the end of my shaping career. And then I went for my medical for Vietnam down in Bunbury. I was living down here in the back of a car, a Sandman.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that.
Yeah. Really
with
like
a guy called John Staley, who was sort of, I think he'd won a state title or something. So I sort of teed up with him. We were just living in the Yellingup caravan park, sleeping outside, sleeping in the car. And then I went to Bunbury and did my sort of medical for Vietnam. And I sort of knew a few little tricks that I'd sort of seen in either, I think there was the surf movie, what was it called, the Endless Summer or Big Wednesday.
Big Wednesday.
And one of the
Was
tricks that they brought up there, because they'd already been involved in the war earlier than what we were, was that if you swallow alfoil rolled up, that it will come up as a spot on your lung. So I swallowed lots of alfoil, hoping that I would fail the medical because I had spots of cancer on my lung, but they never mentioned anything about that, so maybe I shat it all out before I went to I don't know. But anyway, so anyway, so I'm going for this.
TV reception better?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Did you take the weed out of the alfoil before you swallowed it? Or?
So anyway, I ended up going for this medical, and I remember I was wearing these soft suede boots, ripple-soled desert boots, that at the time were sort of the fashion, just black, black ripple-soled desert boots. So I go in for the medical, and you have to strip off and everything, and the guy looks down at my shoes after I'm gone through the x-rays and everything, and he goes, can't you wear normal shoes? And I go, no. I had to think on the run, and he goes, what? So you can't wear leather? Don't think you could wear leather boots? Because he's looking at my feet, and because I've sort of at that age I was sort of still riding, just starting to move to these mid-lengths, the Evolution type boards with sort of deep V's, and the widest point was behind centre. So I brought an Evolution board over with me, which not anyone in WA had seen any of these sort of things. You've got to remember it was 1969, So anyway, I just said, I do struggle to wear normal shoes. So I had board bumps on my knees and on the top of my feet. So I ended up, he sent me to a podiatrist, I think, or whatever it is, up in Perth. And I went in and saw this guy about a week later. And the idea was to get an expert opinion on whether I'd be able to wear boots. So he looks at my feet, and he knows that if I stop surfing, in other words, 6 months of, training in where it was in Victoria, you went and trained as being in the army, he just sort of figured out that they probably just dissolve away. It's just a reaction of the body with board bumps. And
is that because you were kneel paddling a lot still? Or?
Yeah, kneel paddling.
Yeah, so you got all the bumps on your knees and
but
top of your
that
feet
had been maybe a year before, because I was still riding Mals till I started making these 8-foot Evolutions, and then moving into that as the next step. They were only 8 foot instead of 9 foot. So anyway, he knew that. He didn't say anything to me, and he was looking at his desk, and he's writing down something, and I'm on the other side of the desk, and he goes, do you want to go in? And I go, fuck, mate, I've never shot a rabbit. I don't even understand really what this war, why it's so important we're there. And he goes, And he goes, all right, you're out.
Sick.
So I
Steve
never went to
Irwin,
Vietnam
salute to
because
that
of board bumps. So
What a
I
legend.
mean, I might not have gone to Vietnam. It might have been possible that I would have been stuck in, I don't know, supplies at the barracks or something. I don't know.
Supplying
But
all
we
the...
were losing, you know, they were losing sort of like, you'd read a newspaper and there'd be like 6 people killed today, stepped on a mine.
Yeah.
4 people lost the day before, you know. So we weren't losing a lot of guys, but it wasn't somewhere where you wanted to be because you didn't really believe in it, you know. So anyway, so that's
It's a pity, because
that's
you
my
could have
shaping
been like
career.
supplying them all with rip curl boardies and hoodies and, you know, because that was your specialty.
Yeah, well, it wasn't at that stage, you know.
No.
It was come later, but but I did hear that Wayne Lynch is making evolution models again. I don't know whether Bill's heard that.
Yeah.
Bill might have heard that.
Yeah, I think that evolution model is definitely popular.
Yeah. It was an unusual board because the widest point was behind centre.
Yeah,
and
there's a
it
double
was
ender.
almost a double ender. There was
Yeah.
versions of it, and you'd know this even better
Yeah.
than me, Bill. But the ones that I was shaping were the double ender ones. But some of the ones before that were diamond tail,
Yeah.
really heavy V'd into the
Yeah.
middle. But I did hear that he's making more, but he hasn't given me a ring to be a go shaper again. Maybe he's just lost my number. I don't know.
You keep talking about double-ended things, Spaz. Hilsey, now I know that you've obviously spent a lot of time in surf shops around the southwest, including this one. Tell me about your some of your early board shaping relationships that you had.
Probably my earliest was with Murray Smith, and Muzz was a ripper. You know, he'd go in and say, "Look, I want to get a pintail. You know, I want V bottom and double flyer. Pull the mast down and start shaping, and you'd come out with a swallowtail with one flyer." And he'd put the ear muffs on, and you go back in and go, but I asked for this. No, this will go better. This will go much better. So in that time period, you know, you probably learnt that you don't tell a chef how to cook. You know, a lot of that probably rubbed off in the regards to the shaper probably knew best. So you had to sort of work out what, particularly if you were dealing with a customer, what Murray was going to shape for you and to put through. But yeah, early days was I was lucky enough. The first job I ever did work in the surf industry was with Blacksall Surfboards for Tom Blacksall. I was $3.50 an hour to pour resin into resin cans and catalyst into catalyst bottles, and if I was good enough, I was allowed to go onto the showroom floor. And but Murray Smith was looking after me with surfboards, so I went to Murray and I felt so embarrassed. I said, "Look, you know, I'm working for the opposition. You know, can I come and work for you?" And he said, "Well, I'll pay you $5 an hour." And I did the same job and sweeping out shaping bays, and I was allowed to go onto the floor and talk to customers and then sort of convey from there. And I mean, in that time period, that's when you probably only had about 15 boards on the rack. There was probably more spiders than surfboards in the factory. The factory was out the back. It was generally pretty chaotic. And a lot of people probably have ever been into the Churchland store at that time period. It was just a myriad of cords and crazy people running around making surfboards. We were producing, I think, 1,500 surfboards a year there. So yeah,
solid.
It was huge.
Sounds like things haven't changed. There's a bunch of crazy people are running around the shaping bays these days as well. I know there's a few out there tonight.
It's a little bit more organised now, I think.
Mate, is that why you're so good on the showroom floor? Because you just hated the resin side of things so much. Because mate, anyone who's ever walked in a surf shop with Hilsey behind the desk, like you're walking out with something. Like maybe a couple of things. He's pretty good at it.
I was completely useless at with my hands.
The resin, yeah, but not on the showroom.
Yeah,
You're a gun.
I used to do ding repairs part time with it, and if you saw my repairs, you wouldn't go back again. You could come in with a small repair, and you would go home with a bigger repair.
Yeah. Well, that's like when the missus asks you to do vacuuming.
Yeah.
You do a shit-house job, so they never ask you again, right?
No, me and power tools, you just don't, we don't gel at all together. And I remember, getting the grinder out, trying to grind out a ding repair, and I flicked the cord, and it's pulled itself out, spun round the actual, the grinder, and then just smacked me straight in the nuts and dropped me, just as Muzzer's walking through. And he's gone, no, you better work out the front.
Perfect.
And and look, hot brews. Yeah, there's a reason why that shop was called Hot Brews.
Oh yeah.
It was the amount of times that it was almost flame on, and I reckon they blamed it on Macca a fair few times. But me and Catalyst, we just didn't get.
It wasn't a good chemical reaction.
1 to 30 parts.
Yeah, whatever.
Me and measurements and chemistry, it didn't work out that well. So it was kind of good that I was out the front, and I probably had a whole new respect for everybody that was out the back. And look, have you ever sanded a surfboard? It's the shittiest job in the world.
Yeah.
Sanding fins, all of that. I wanted to be in the clean, nice showroom. So I got really good at what I was doing, so I didn't have to go out the back anymore.
That makes sense.
And actually, one of my earliest experiences with Catalyst was a classic. I was working at Blacksall, and of course you'd be sitting down in a little seat, and you're pouring the resin and pouring it in the Catalyst, and of course, being a young fella and up in Perth my first year, and mum maybe not there doing my washing, so no jocks on, and a bit of Catalyst in my hand, and I've scratched my nuts.
Yeah.
I flaked like a snake. I had my ball bag over the bloody in the sink, trying to wash this down as I'm screaming.
Well, I think that's a visual we don't really need to.
So,
it's a bit of heat. It's like Denkarub times 3, isn't it?
So, but warning to any children out there, don't play with Catalyst. It's, of course, they reckon it burns your eyes out, but I can tell you what it does to your ball sack is incredible. There's
You mean to say we actually need more female sanders than we do male sanders?
I don't know. Probably just less incompetence from me, mate. I don't think it was, but that spurred me on to want to be out the front, and I was very lucky, I don't know if many of you have met Murray Smith, but he was like a Peter Pan when it came to working in the shop. We would have 30 people that would come in that wanted to talk just to Murray Smith, and my job was to direct them around him and try to keep them entertained until they got to Murray. But the youngest person in the room was the most important, and he would sit down there and listen to everything that had to be said and write down the order and go through that. And he probably taught me how to deal with people probably the best, in that regard, with just that human contact, and also that enthusiasm that a child has. There's no greater enthusiasm than a kid's first surfboard. It's still gold now, and that's still awesome. You see that twinkle in people's eye every time. And then a lot of my work, particularly as I got older, was getting people back into the surf, and so that was bringing the child back again. The guy that's been or the girl that's been working that hard, they've had a family, surfing's gone to the wayside. What can get them back to that heyday of really getting excited about surfing? And it's that childlike
froth. Awesome.
That gets you amped, and
that's sick, man.
That's what gets me amped, and what makes it my job very enjoyable.
I wrote something a little while ago about a similar sort of same sort of thing, and anyway, I'll just read it now. Good surfboard design is about listening to the past and looking to the future. Each wave should be an adventure for the rider. Good surfboards are a balance between a surfer's dream and their abilities. Being able to interpret this is a sharing of the dreams for the surfer and the shaper. Finding this rhythm means that a custom board evolves. Mastering this will produce a piece of art that is desirable, functional and fun. So it's a relationship between a surfer and a shaper that enthuses so many people. And what you said about older guys coming back to surfing, that's the shaper has a lot to do with that, encouraging that enthusiasm, encouraging those dreams of that person into believing that they can use that surfboard. So they might have a rough idea of what they want, but the shaper will put those dreams into position.
The classic example of that is Oggy.
Yeah, I
Ladies and gentlemen,
I see it all
Dreammaker
the
Billy
time.
Gibson.
Yeah, I see it all
Awesome
the
stuff.
time.
Was that about the best piece of literary prose that's ever come out of this shitty podcast, or what? Far out, that was pretty exquisite, Billy. Awesome. You can see the genuine love that Billy has for surfing, man. It's been going a real long time. He's passed it on to his son, who sort of like Bob again. Some people call him Hamish because they reckon they just see two of him every time they surf, and his granddaughter as well. So, man, that was from the heart, Billy. I love it, man. Well done.
Yeah, thank you, mate. I see so many examples of this. Bob's another one down that end there that hasn't had a word in yet. But another master shaper who never encouraged me to ride his boards because I just couldn't quite get what he was digging. But I see so many other people that have been encouraged by what Bob surfs like and has shaped in the past. And he goes back to Cordingley days way back. And I've still got a couple of relics from the past sitting in my shed. So, Bob, you know, you're not shaping so much anymore, but do you still find the urge to get the planer out and throw yourself into it? Is there a time when a wave encourages you to do that?
No.
No.
The one thing that's always frustrated me with shaping is I never felt that I was good enough. I always kind of... well, it was only one time that I thought that I was doing really well is when I was working for Cordingley, banging out about 20 boards a week. And I really believe that you need production under you to deliver a really good product. Like when I was shaping full time, I'd come down south on a weekend and my boards on a Monday morning weren't that flash. So the time to come to me for a board was Friday afternoon. I was just on fire. So I found if you can't have production under you, I just could never reach what I was trying to achieve.
And one of my favourite shapers from that time was Greg Lorenzen. And
Undoubtedly.
He was in the Cordingley stable at that time, and to my mind a master of the shaping a game. And what are your memories of people like that from Cordingley days?
Oh, Greg was a very close friend, very close family friend, just a lovely man and a master of his craft. Undoubtedly one of the best shapers WA's had. And my memories of Greg was when I first came down south in the early days, there were 3 bachelors in town. One was Greg, the other one was Loz, and the other one was Peter Mack. So every Wednesday we had the 3 bachelors over for dinner, and we became very close to them. But yeah, to your question, yeah, Pants would have to be one of the best surfers WA's had.
That was his nickname, eh? Greg Pants Lorenzen.
Underpants.
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. We need to know more about that nickname. How does someone get the name Underpants?
No, Thunderpants.
Oh, Thunderpants, even better.
He was a good farter.
Was he? Is that it?
Yeah.
What a weapon.
No,
It's got a...
you shouldn't need much information to figure that one out.
Come on, mate. It's pretty... Have you guys ever been paddling out the back and you've, like, as you're paddling, like, done a Greg Lorenzen and just done a hell fart?
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, that's got to have propelled me forward just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, surely. There's got to be a bit in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, he made an art out of it.
Did he? That's impressive.
It used to be in younger days for me, we used to have these farting competitions. And the idea was that, and they happened a lot up at the Bluff and Nalu and that. And, sorry?
Oh, we've got a contender. He wants to...
Well, the idea is you have to get one fart and draw as many little farts out of that, and the record was 21 from one fart. And I did hold it for a while until Al Bean, Al Bean had an arse operation for piles, and he beat my record, but I always said that it just wasn't fair, you know, like. And I wasn't going to have an operation to take the title back. I didn't want to do that.
Two of WA's greatest shapers happen to be fart champions.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Getting on to that, if you're not shaping that well, and I know there's a few shapers in this room, but what I can suggest is you maybe think about taking up being a ghost shaper, because you never write your initials on the blank. You're just doing a model, like the evolution model. So, for me, who wasn't a great shaper, I got away with it until I got caught up. But I don't think it was ever going to be my lifelong job.
Well, I think there's a bit of modesty amongst the guests tonight. Adam Kennedy, what do you think?
Oh, mate, yeah, no, it sounds interesting. One name popped to mind. I won't mention it, but one of our avid listeners, he's a Kiwi, we'll leave it at that, and he's been on the podcast before. But, mate, he records his farts because they're so impressive, and mate, he's up to like 43 seconds for one.
Yeah.
So if he'd have broke that down, he could have given you boys at the Bluff a run.
I think he's recorded a couple on social media, I've heard. And yeah, no, he does well.
Impressive.
I'm going to...
You go, mate. You go.
I'm going to actually move on a little bit from the shaping situation here. I do want to ask Bob about a little story that was told to me a little earlier tonight. Bob, we're talking Mexico in the mid-70s. We're talking...
A lot of beans, red kidney beans, chili.
Is it Punta Domita? Yeah, of course it's Punta Domita. Punta Domita. So, do you remember this trip, my friend? You do? And I believe you were there with your lovely wife, and you're in the sort of scrubland in Mexico and no showers. Tell me what happened from there.
Oh, well. We were travelling around in our combi van, and Jen hadn't had a shower for a couple of nights. So I said, don't worry, we'll have a shower this evening. So we were driving past this Punta Domita was becoming developed, and they were building a golf course. And anyhow, we drove past the golf course, and there was these big knocker sprinklers sprinkling around in a circle. And I said, there you go, darling, there's your sprinkler. No, there's your shower. And so she got in the bikini and went around and followed the sprinkler around. Had a shower, washed her hair, and thanked me very much. And then it was my turn. So then I went out and soaped up, and the sprinkler shut off. And then they came back on, and I chased them down again, and they shut off again. So there must have been somebody up somewhere could see me, and didn't want me to have a shower. But Jen got a shower.
Yeah. They didn't mind your missus running there in bikini though, did they?
They left the sprinklers on for 3 hours.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe you should have kept your undies on, mate.
Or I didn't look very good in my cozies.
Classic. Mate, one question I've got that it could go to all four of you since we're on the shaper-surfer relationship. Magic board. Is there any magic board that ever, for you first, Bobo, is there any one board that you either maybe not made yourself from your self-appraisal earlier, but a shaper, and who was a shaper, and was there one board that really you really connected with, you know?
Yeah, I do have one, and incidentally, it's one that I shaped for myself. And I took to the Maldives and had an awesome couple of weeks there.
What was it?
It's just a 9-foot longboard. Not much different to what Oggie's shaping for me nowadays. It was something that we were both working on. That it's probably not far from what we call the Yelling Up Blue. And I surfed Maldives and had the most awesome trip up there. And then I came down and went out at Engine Up Point one day on a really good day and snapped it. Yeah. And I tried to repeat that board, but I could never get one the same, so I just left it up to Oggie after that.
You can never get them the same. Even
Oggie's the master.
I know.
He can.
Yeah, he can, but I mean, when you get a special one, they just come around. They don't come around.
Well, there's so many factors. I mean, you can repeat the identical shape.
Yes, you can, but
then there's all other things like the foam and the stringer and the flex and the glass and all that. But that's why I just leave it up to Oggie nowadays.
Yeah. But a good board's a bummer when you snap it. It's just it's just never the same, and And I must say, I've got a Greg Lorenzen out there, a 6'4". It's a magic board. Everybody that's ridden it has said this board is just magic. You know, I've got a 6'7", exactly the same. They came from I got them about 20 years ago, but the two boards are just very good. And one, the 6'4", is everybody that's ridden has said the same thing. It's amazing. It's been tried to be copied. I've had Al measure the shit out of it and try and copy it. And I've had Nathan do a couple. He's got the closest so far. But something very, very special about that board. So they do come along, and the other thing about those special boards is that they often just suit one person. This one's special in that many people have ridden it and said, this is just great, you know. So it's interesting when you try and copy something. I know all of you guys would have had that same experience with trying to copy something that you really, really loved, you know. Barry, you'd be, you know.
Well, I did have one board that sticks out. It was when I was still living in South Australia, so I was, I don't know what age I was, but I remember that Nat Young had this board that was famously known as Sam, and it was supposedly the best board that he'd ever had, and I think he might have won that world title in America, I'm not sure, but I think that's when Sam was on the scene.
Yeah.
And I ended up coming across a board which, ironically, I don't know who shaped it. I don't know, there was no logo on it, so it was a homemade shaper, a home shaper, I would assume. And I called that Son of Sam because it was very similar dimensions, and not what Son of Sam meant later on, but yeah, it was exactly what you're saying, though. You know, like I tried to copy it and I couldn't. And sometimes I don't know that you even know at the time that that's maybe the one board that you should not have got rid of, but that was the case with me. I can't even remember. But, you know, you have new ideas. You know, it might be going onto an evolution surfboard because that's the newest thing. So you want to keep moving forward with what you're riding. So I just wish that I'd kept that board, but I didn't. So.
One of those things, right? You wish you, amount of boards I think we've all wished we've kept. What about you, Hilsey? Favourite board, magic board? What have you got?
A couple of them, I think, but
You got a couple still with me.
yeah. Well, yeah. There's
The shark.
Yeah, Billy's resurrected a couple of boards. They weren't necessarily favourites, but they were a part of my past year because I worked with Murray Smith, Hot Brews, and I've got a couple of Phil Ushers that have made their way back. One of them, I told Murray I'd broke it, but I'd actually sold it in Noosa Lombogan for an extra $100 to go to the Sari Club for the next 5 nights. Yeah, it's pretty lonely at Noosa Lombogan. So going back to the mainland, you know, not now. No, but the classic was I actually paid $100 to buy it back from the same. I don't know. It must have been the same village. It was at Noosa Chinnigan. But no, probably the one that really stood out was a guy called Greg Trotter came over to do a celebrity guest shaping thing for Blacksall Surfboards, and I was lucky enough to meet Greg and get on really well with him, and he made me a beautiful 6'10", 19.5, 2 5/8 board to take away to Grudgigan, and I had a 6'3" Hot Brews and I had a 6'6" AB, and G-Land you need a little bit of length, and I had 3 days of just being pounded and trying to bottom turn like you do as a southwest surfer at Grudgigan just wasn't working, and on my backhand, and I was just getting my head ripped off every day. So the fact that the 6'10" was just drawing a longer line, everything just came together, and it was just an absolutely magic board, and it served me out a couple of years. And I creased it one morning at Grudgigan you don't go out there when there's no wind, even though it's glassy, looks perfect, but the wave breaks, it barrels a bit quicker, and I actually said to mates of mine when I paddle out, I'll see if I can't break it, and I put a big crease in it. And luckily we had a fair bit of repair stuff, and I actually did a reasonable job at repairing it, and it went a lot better. I don't know if it was just that little less flex and a lot more stiffness in a steeper wave, but that was a beautiful board. But I did make the mistake of selling it, and the person that bought it did break it in the end. But again, you know, at that time you didn't really place the value on it because you were being involved in the surf industry. You wanted something new all the time, and quite often you would get ahead of yourself because you thought, oh well, maybe I can surf. The whole reason to change boards was to get better, and sometimes you're going to get better staying on the one board for a little bit longer rather than just rotating so many surfboards. Not that I tell my customers that, because you should buy as many surfboards as you possibly can, and your wives should let you do that too. And keep them. You're allowed to keep all the surfboards you like because they're special. But yeah.
I got about 100.
Yeah, exactly. And but yeah, Bill's managed to tidy up 2 of my old boards, which was fantastic. And this one from Noosa Lombogan, and another one where Murray Smith's brother Warren, he's not with us anymore now. He used to call me Mark Shark. I don't know whether that was my selling skills or being in the water, but he used to paint sharks on my surfboards, and one of them ended up in Queensland, and a couple of boys from the WA Vintage Surfboards were bringing back some boards, and they took some photos, and I went, "Oh, you're kidding me? This board is one of mine, you know." And I said, "Look, has it got Mark Shark on it?" They said, "Yeah," and they were kind enough to freight it over and drop it at my mum and dad's house at actually no cost. And
that's awesome.
So it was just legendary. They were as excited as I was excited, and And I didn't know these people either. I'd never met Dennis Keane, and I'd never met Craig Chetham and another guy, Marty McRae, who'd organised it at all. And out of their own kindness, I don't know, but they got this board back to us, and of course Bill's the master of making them look good again.
Yep.
And they both now sit in the gallery. So
That's it. Mate, that's exactly something that Billy G would do, and I've seen him do it with Murph's 20, remember, that he left in the car park. Exact same story, that someone came along and saw it hanging up on his wall and was like, mate, that's my board that I left at Smith's car park 10 years ago. Billy's like, here you go. Gave it back to him.
There it is.
They're like books. It's like a book. I mean, each one's a story, and that's why it's fantastic that, looking at the boards out the front today, there's just everyone's a piece of history. Everyone can relate to it, sort of thing, in that regard.
When you were trying to recreate that magic board that you had, Billy, I was just wondering, like, when you did the stringer, was it made of Thai Buddha sticks, or did you forget that detail?
I forgot that detail, mate. So, it probably did why it didn't go so well.
Mate, you've restored a lot of boards. There's a lot of... Everyone knows surf history in the 70s and that. There was all rumours of certain substances getting glassed into boards and that. Have you ever found any gold stripping one back, or...?
Interesting. Interesting. Look, I've come across some that probably went with a few other boards that had their little sections taken out. So these were shaped in Darwin. And the story was that they were glassed by, I can't remember the name's guy, but the guy was glassing for Farrelly surfboards at the time. This is early 70s, and it's a well-known West Australian face. It's not here tonight. But he shaped up a couple in Darwin, and they did a couple of transits between Indonesia and Darwin. I repaired one, but I didn't find anything in the compartment. It's probably the dummy one, I'd say. I got the dummy one, so... there was.
I don't believe you, mate. I know you too well.
So I'm sure it was a done thing. I haven't come across, that sort of thing too often, but I did. The stories were that close, so.
Well played.
Yeah.
Well played, like a politician.
Awesome stuff. All right, we are going to take a 10-minute break, and we'll be back here shortly. Don't go away, because we do have the raffle draw, and we do have a special guest coming up straight after the break. So we'll come back on at 6:30. So see you then. Cheers.
Hey guys, it's Occy here, and you're listening to Barreled Surf Podcasts.
Well, what do you know? Cheeky Monkey and their limited release. They're at it again, this time with the Quarry's Hazy Tropical Pale Ale. Mate, T-Bone loved this one. I loved this one. Namu loves this one. It's a hazy crusher, 5.2%. You got to love the limited release, Hazy Tropical Pale. Check it out. The Quarry's.
Yes, and also look out for the Main Break Hazy IPA as well. That's available on tap at selected venues around the southwest and Perth. It is coming up to winter time. As we say in Barrel Surf Podcast, it is a good time to get yourself a glass or a bottle or an inlet case of Forester Estate wines, Adam.
Oh, man, I've been loving the Lifestyle Shiraz 23 vintage. It's won about 74 gold medals. It's hardly, you can't even see the label anymore. It's just all gold medals. And, mate, it's very reasonably priced, especially if you go on their website, chuck in the coupon BARRELED for 25% off, and, mate, you are drinking a $100 bottle of wine for about $20. It's killer. Forester Red.
Your beauty, Forester.
I'm Nate Florence, and this is the Slab Tour, brought to you by the Barreled Surf Podcast.
Ooh, it is a bit chilly these days. And the great thing about chilly waters in the southwest and Australia and worldwide is getting yourself a Shark Eyes wetsuit. The best rubber in the business. Give it a try. You will not be disappointed. Yeah, Shark Eyes wetsuits.
Yeah, Shark Eyes.
Wax We all love wax. Get yourself some Dr. Crack wax. It's a new product from one of the local legends in the southwest, and it is the Duck's Nuts. Dr. Crack wax. Yeah, Dr. Crack.
Sounds good. I feel like a bit of a cheeky monkey after a couple cheeky monkeys.
You're listening to Barreled Surf Podcast, and I'm Kelly Slater.
Yeah, the goat. Is Rosie here? Where's Rosie? There she is. I can see her back. Rosie Gillette, ladies and gentlemen. Come on up here. Grab a seat there. I'm gonna crouch. Yeah, that's right. I've got a yoga body, mate. It's all good. Just pass that microphone over there, Radzi. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Rosie Gillette, welcome her here to the Barrel Surf Podcast.
Hey guys, how are we?
Now, I did speak to Rosie earlier, and we've come across each other a few times, including at the most recent Yelling Up Board Riders event, which was some pretty bloody good waves, wasn't there?
Yeah, we had pumping bears, it was sick.
Pumping bears, and the great thing about doing the board riders events is you don't have to, hassle for waves because you've got that rashi on it. It gives you a little bit of. I know there's going to be different opinions on that amongst the crowd tonight, but
Pretty sure I've seen you hassle out in the over 45s there, Namu. Just, trying to get that winning wave. No, I'm joking. I've never been to one.
2 foot. Yeah, it was 2 foot. So, Rosie, you got second place in the Open Women's. Absolutely fucking ripping, mind you.
Yeah,
Give it up for Rosie. She was absolutely tearing the bag. You can see, there's actually a video that Sammy made, Sammy the board store crew made from the comp on YouTube. So have a look at that. It's actually super impressive. I shouldn't say actually, but it was. Now, Rosie, tell me about, you've got a pretty good relationship with Zach, haven't you, making boards for you? Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, me and Zach have such good relationships. Like, he's so experienced and has like so much knowledge about boards and stuff. Like anything I need, he's the man. Like, he's so good, and just like anything I need, he's like got it.
How did you sort of start that with Zach? Is it something that's sort of naturally evolved, or did he sort of spot you in the water and go, yeah, I want her on my team, or how did it work?
Well, I think Dad, he's always looking at surf shops, and I think one day, because I just live down the road, and I think we just came in to check out some boards and stuff, and then we just spoke to Zach, and he was like, oh, we're looking to sponsor someone, and it kind of just evolved from there, and it just kind of took off from there, yeah.
What's the biggest board that Zach shaped you? Is it over 6 foot or?
No, 5'11".
Absolute rhino chaser.
Yeah, that's my Margs board.
Yeah, Margie's mains. Yeah, well, you got to do a lot of prep out there if you want to get into the comps. It's state rounds and possible trials and all that sort of stuff. Do you get down there and run a few mock heats? Do you?
Yeah, lots of mock heats out at Margs, especially it's just good to have experience out at Margs, especially you got the trials coming up, so good to get heaps of practice out there. But I do have a burst eardrum at the moment, so
blue
so
tack,
out of
mate,
the water.
blue tack.
Yeah, lots of blue tack, that's for sure.
Are you? Have you got a spot in the trials?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
How do you get that?
Well, I think it was just through Yelling Up Board Riders, and Zach helped me get one, and yeah.
Sweet. Zach just went down and just strong-armed him, basically. He's a bit of a weapon. He's quiet, but mate, he's got some guns on him.
He's been lifting weights for about 3 years now. Look at him.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
Watch
mate,
out.
If you need a coach, old Billy G, there's done around about 20,000 hours out at main breaks. I'm sure he can help you, Billy. What do you reckon?
Oh yeah, for sure. But hey, I was just listening to the relationship between Zach and Zach's come down and shaped a couple of boards for us at Foam Lust, which is a show that I've run in the past. And so the way we've upgraded is we've set up a shaping bay in the middle of nowhere. So we've had a caravan, we've had tent city basically, with a few carry-on lights going on. And Zach's come down and shaped a couple of boards for us. We scored some blanks from Burford's. They gave us a few blanks. And so we talked Zach into coming down and shaping a couple of boards for us, and 3 hours, woe to go, finished surfboard, and a master, and with a crowd coming in the door and talking to him at the same time. a total master. A credit to Mark and a credit to Zach. Total craftsman. Also,
Yeah, Zachy.
also acknowledge what Barry said. Zach's done a lot of time as a ghost shaper on the East Coast, and from when he left to when he came back, different game altogether, you know, and so much more confidence. So both Hamish and Arabelle, my son and daughter, granddaughter, ride Zach's boards, and yeah, same thing, relationship with the shaper. So it's great.
Yeah, nice words, Billy. So, how old are you, mate?
16.
16. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, still a few years ahead of you. So you could be serving in juniors. Well, you know, 21 and out these days in pro surfing. Nah, not really. Kelly Slater's about 68, isn't he? Yeah. So, I don't know why I said that, but anyway. So, Rosie, what are you sort of thinking? Is surfing a path for you? Is sort of going to take it as it comes?
Yeah, definitely. Just like see what the future holds. That's definitely what I want to do. But yeah, so just like work my way up the ranks and just see how it goes. Yeah.
Did your dad pull you out of school in year 4 like Trev Robinson's dad did for Jack? I mean, that worked out all right.
Nah, but might be pulling out soon. Just trying to get mum on the bandwagon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sick. Have you ever surfed with Billy's granddaughter, Arabelle? Do you know her at all? She rides Zach's boards and she surfs a fair bit.
No, I haven't, but I've heard lots.
She's probably
about
early
it.
20s now, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I've heard lots about her.
Who's your favourite local female surfer? Who do you look up to?
Probably Bronte McCauley.
Fair call.
Yeah.
Are you goofy or natural?
I'm natural.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So do you like watch her videos in the mirror and stuff, or?
Put them in reverse.
Yeah, it's the go.
Flip them. Yeah.
Have you ever shared the line-up at Lefties with her?
Yeah, and Marg's a bit too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah? She giving you a few tips?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
She's coaching now, so that's good.
Oh, is she coaching you?
Yeah. Oh, no. I've got Stomper, but yeah.
What's that, sorry?
Stomper.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Stomper. That's epic.
If you don't know the story about Stomper's name, listen to one of the earlier podcasts. That's awesome. So who else have you got in your corner at the moment, Rosie, in terms of sponsors?
Feel Good Inc., but that's about it at the moment, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So surfboards and sun protection. Can't go wrong there.
Sick, sounds good.
Ladies and gentlemen, look forward to the future of Rosie Gillette. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck in the trials, mate.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, she absolutely tearing the bag the other day at Bears. Everyone was on the beach just going, holy crap, that is some impressive surfing, regardless of age.
She didn't go up to old man's reef up at the third one there and just, you know, she would upset the grumpy old man up there as it is. I mean, she didn't go and ruffle any feathers up there, and she stayed down the high performance end.
No, high performance, yeah.
That's good, yeah.
I jumped up to Old Man's Reef for a couple, and I was only old man out at Old Man's Reef.
Yeah, sick.
Good. Yeah. Anyway, enough about us.
Yes.
We do have 4 incredible guests in our incredible Yahoo. So, everybody's got raffle tickets, yeah?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, cool.
Am I allowed to win?
We're not. Yeah.
Sounds like I'm the only one who's got one, so I'm looking pretty good at the moment.
Bit of a redraw. All right, it's enough about us, Adzi. Let's get on to our guests.
Yeah, cool. Mate, I got some questions for him.
Let's hear 'em.
Okay, so I was hoping that each one of you guests could maybe, you know, provide us with some dirt or some glory on each other. So let's start with Hilsey, because he's always short of a few words. Mate, Hilsey, what's the best thing you've seen any one of these three, or all of these three, do in the surf? Is there anything that pops out at you straight away?
All three of them can still stand up.
Yeah, that's a start.
Which is very good. I'm pretty lucky with there is a little bit of a gap between me and the other boys as such, because we're still young.
Yeah, the Grom. You're still the Grom in the bunch, aren't you, mate?
I think the great thing probably that stands for me is that I grew up in the era where we had respect for each other. So I was a cheeky grommet when I was younger, and so if you did the wrong thing, you were sent in, and so you'd soon learn pretty quickly. And I mean, there's no grommet abuse anymore. Nobody puts anybody into a stretchy board bag and drowns them in the water or buries them up to their neck and pee on them and anything like that anymore now. It's all a bit soft. So I grew up in that area, and not that any of these fellas had ever threatened me with that because they're all gentlemen. But the beautiful thing about it was that we were brought up in an era that where you respected your elders and you respected the space that you're in there with the surf. So you didn't do things like, if someone was in a barrel, you didn't paddle in their way because you had every right to run them over if that happened, which happened to me quite a few times because you'd be trying to scratch out to get a bit quicker. And of course, this is probably even learning how to duck dive properly because that was all a bit later too. So yeah, no, I haven't got any real mud or anything like that I could throw at either three because there's plenty they could probably throw back at me.
All right, but if you haven't got any mud on anyone, I'm interested to hear one of the funniest grommet abuse stories that you've sort of either been a part of or, I don't know, propagated.
That was pretty much the whole time you were doing it. I mean, if your mate was out a bit too long, you'd eat his lunch. That'd be definitely, that was on. You'd pinch his girlfriend, eat his lunch, tell his girlfriend he had AIDS. There weren't too many women around when we were first growing up down here, and winter was pretty long. So you would, you'd do a lot of different things to sort of get ahead in that regard, sort of thing. But yeah, no, look, it was just our school bus was just a shocker. Yelling up, you weren't picked up from the beachfront. You had to walk all the way up to the Yelling Up Hall. So there was only probably about 4 or 5 families that were living in the area at that stage at Yelling Up Beach, and so you get picked up, and our bus was constantly called up to the headmaster because there was a fair bit of action that was going on. So. Like you'd open the side window and Richardson would kick your hand in, so they kick it again and then accidentally kick the emergency window out that then went onto the ranger's car out the back. So we sort of got stopped for that. Generally, like if any of the younger crew were playing up, because we were on the back seat, which would have been me, Richardson, Vernon, hurrying houseman, there was a bunch of it, and you sort of ruled it. You would maybe find people's lunch and throw it out the window too if it wasn't any good to eat, or throw their bag out.
Hey, I was a school bus driver at this time.
We wondered who that old stone fella was.
Yeah. I did. This is the Dunsborough crew. They were angels compared to the Margaret River crew. There. We had a Christmas came around one year. And I had about 30 kids going to Quarrama. It was the Inglets, the Bremners, the Melvilles, all those families from around there. Anyhow, before I reached the river at the bottom of the hill, I couldn't see a thing because the whole place had been flower bombed. I had to pull up in the car park at the top and let the flour clear out of the bus so I could see where I was going. And then, it was just, I couldn't keep control of any of those critters. They were just next level bastards, You'd slam the brakes on and try and get them to smash their teeth into the next seat, but no avail.
Could you imagine Billy G driving the bus, going to pick Keely Bremner and his brothers and the Englet brothers and the Melvilles, all these hell surfers, and he's like and the Jakovich family, and driving into the bay to pick them up to go to school, and they'd all just look out at the surf, and Billy'd be looking out, and then surely you just went surfing at least once, didn't you? You'd just be like, you're not going to school today.
Margaret River's Otto. Is it Otto from The Simpsons?
Yeah, the Otto, for sure.
Yeah, no, I always lost one brother at, caddos. It didn't matter which one you'd pick up. You'd pick up one Bremner, one caddo, one Melville, one. They're all families of about 3 or 4, And but yeah, if the surf was on, you know, people would disappear, just disappear. And you know, mums and dads would ask you where they gone, you know, and I'm going, I'm only a bus driver, mate. Don't have eyes in the back of my head, you know.
And Billy, what about you, mate? There are a couple of sort of outstanding surf sessions or whatever it might be where these guys any of these guys made you go, holy moly.
I've had some amazing battles over the years with Bob in the surf contests. As most of you know, he can paddle like a fucking demon. And I was in a surf contest at Avalon one day, and there's me and Fegsy and Bob, and we're all in the final of the I don't know, over hundreds, I don't know, one of those. Anyway, I'm on my way. We've all caught a wave, and it was just as the priority system had been brought in. So we'd all caught a wave, and we were all laughing about this priority bullshit stuff, you know. So, and I think Fegsy got the first one, I got the second one, and Bob got the third one. And anyway, we're down the line a little bit. Bob's flicked out, and he started paddling, and I'm next to Fegsy, and I go, hey, Fegsy, watch this. And I just picked the rate up and started paddling. And if you know Avalon Point, it's about 100 yards up to the point. Well, I had Bob going on he had a wake coming off his board, mate. He wasn't going to let me get into that spot. But, yeah. Who won the priority? I think Bob won the priority, you know. He just, you know, I lifted the game, but Fegsy was sitting behind us, and he's just laughing the whole time. He's just going, here's these two nutters going freaking hammer for tong for the point, you know, and we're both trying to outdo each other. So, yeah, we've had some classic battles over the years, and I've really enjoyed surfing with Bob over the years. We've had some great times away with national teams, and also just as a competitor. People ask me why I still compete. It's to be with mates like Bob, so it's not to win. It's nice to win. And I have a couple of times, but Bob's flogged the shit out of me, really. And Fegsy cleans up what we don't. So, yeah, so it's always a battle.
Mate, you've done a lot of time in the Northwest, Billy, as our little intro mentioned there before, and in your profile episode that we did a couple of years ago, you told some cracking stories about up there. You've done decades up there, and Bob loves those left-handers. Have any special little sessions up there with Bob that stand out with you at all, or any performances, or is anything in the camp, around the campfire maybe, where he's just cooked it?
No, look, he's out at 5 o'clock in the fucking morning, and he's still there at 10 o'clock at night. And at some stage, I'll paddle past him a few times. I've always, the Kelvinator impresses me no end. Bob's a master of that Kelvinator. And yeah, at Nalu, he just kills it on that Kelvinator. So, special to watch. They're not an easy board to ride, in my opinion. A lot of you guys will probably disagree with that, but that's just my take on surfboards. But yeah, I really do admire that Kelvinator. Yeah, another one that's come about because of a collaboration between a surfer and a shaper. So what's Mark? Yeah, Mark. Another left thinker, you know. But Oggy has been able to interpret so well, and so many people have got so much enjoyment out of that model. So, yeah, cracker.
Yeah, I've got a couple of Kelvinators. They're a shape that is a specialty board that Oggy does, and we heard about the story last time we did a live show in here, actually. It was pretty classic with Mark and Oggy and how it all went down. Obviously, it's named after a fridge door due to its shape, and man, they're super fun to ride. They go sick. Yeah, and there's there you go, photos on the wall up there behind us there of crew ripping it up on the Kelvy. What about you, Bobo? Have you got any dirt or gold on any of these young fellas beside you?
No, No, not really.
And that's Bob Monkman, everybody. Put your hands together.
No, but I mean, I haven't got any dirt, but I mean, Billy and I have competed against each other for quite a long time. And, yeah, I've got a lot of respect for Billy, and he's got respect for me, and we've had some great battles, and he's towed me up quite a few times. But, yeah, it's just been good. And Baz, I've been on a lot of surfing trips with Baz, you know.
Yeah, Bob and I were actually probably in the very first group of people to start going to the Maldives. I was doing the Ocean and Earth range prior to this trip that Bob and I went on. But we ended up, I was doing the Ocean and Earth range, and Brian Cregan from Ocean and Earth he'd gone to Europe and had appointed a new agent over there for his range, or the first agent maybe. And he ended up missing his flight back to Australia. And then the next plane that he was able to get went via Mali in the Maldives, going back over to the East Coast. And he got back home and he rang me up, I think maybe a week later or something like that, and he goes, Baz, we got to go to the Maldives. There's just waves pouring around islands everywhere. I just couldn't believe it, you know. And I said, well, my first reaction was, well, it's a place where people go to dive, you know, like I don't think there's surf there, really? And he goes, yep, I saw waves come around islands everywhere. So it took about 12 months later, and Bob came, myself, what's the guy? Yeah, no, the guy, Ross. Yeah, Ross William. And so there was 3 of us from WA and 2 other guys, that Brian Cregan and his sales manager. And we went for about 10 days, and it was a bloody good trip, wasn't it? You know, we loved it. And as a result, I've just kept going there and going there and going there. I didn't go for about 5 years because I was still enjoying going to Cloudbreak and was only in my 40s, and I didn't mind a bit of size, so I was sort of surfing Cloudbreak a bit. But then when I realised my time to look at easier going waves, I started going back there, and Bob and I have been quite a few times, and I mean, it's just got more expensive over the years, but in the early days it was, you know, a $3,000 holiday, but that's not. It was the first time we went there was I remember, because it came up on a photo that I'd taken, but it was the 8th of the 8th, 88. Wow. So it was in 1988, and we were the only guys there. There was just the guy, Tony, if you know the story, there's a very good video that you can buy called Serendipity, which describes how I don't know if you know, but without taking too long, he basically got shipwrecked there. They were on a yacht going to South Africa. The yacht hit a reef, and they ended up being stuck there while they were salvaging it. And then they discovered started to discover waves there. But the other 3 guys went on to South Africa, and he just stayed and ended up living there, becoming a Muslim, marrying a local girl. And he had it on his own for maybe, how many years do you reckon, Bob? Probably 8 years or something, 10 years? Oh, at least. Yeah, something like that. And then, so when we went, we only went because Brian Cregan of Ocean and Earth had sort of seen there was waves there. So, you know, we didn't see about it in a magazine. We just took off on the pretext that there looked like there's waves there. So we just went surfing, and but it was a great trip, wasn't it, Bob? It was something else. It was really different.
It was the second best surf trip I've ever had.
What was the first?
Yeah, that's one question straight up, isn't it?
The first best one, I reckon, is it was 17 years later that I went back there with Mick Fisher, and we just rocked up there, and every day it was like he'd died and gone to heaven. The first one was really good. I agree with that.
Yeah, but the surf was better on that trip, I know.
But I
got there at the end of it. You were only had like 2 more days, but I saw the photos and that. It was
I think it was 05.
Yeah.
88 to 05. And couldn't believe it. Every day was just glassy, and you had to pinch yourself to, is this real? Yeah.
I mean, it really is beautiful, but it's like everywhere. It's getting more expensive, more crowded. It seems to me with a lot of surf trips now. I mean, if you don't go somewhere, like there's a lot of people that would not agree with this maybe, but if you don't go somewhere where it's private, it's really hard as you get older to get waves. I mean, it's just, you can't roll up at a really crowded break in Bali or sort of in Sumatra or anywhere now and compete out in the water very successfully. So you do pay extra and you go to a surf camp where, you're out in the water with 8 guys, you just paddle out off the edge of the lagoon and you go out into the surf, and you pay for that privilege, but it is getting harder and harder to be able to go somewhere and as you get older and get waves. I think most of you probably would even understand that it's crowded everywhere. There's nowhere that's not crowded.
So we're going to go to wave pools?
No. Oh well, it doesn't interest me, but I'm sure. I don't know. I mean, no, I don't. I can't even enjoy watching contests and wave pools personally, but it was it was great times because I ended up going. I started going to Tavarua again, and then, like I said, in about 1995, he'd opened up. Tony, the guy that found it, he'd realised that if he didn't do it, someone else was going to, and he started a surf resort there, So I started going again about 95, and my last trip there was 2 years ago, and I had to give a talk at this sort of, they have like a cocktail night. So they had all these people that were in water bungalows, just general, and they wanted me to give a talk about how I thought the resort had improved itself over the years since I first went there. So I sort of did that, and I was walking back later after, and I was thinking about all these people there that would probably be on their first trip to the Maldives, or, they probably travel all around the world going to different resorts. And I'm standing up there saying that I've been here 34 times, and they're probably going, fuck, this guy needs to get a life. How could you go to the one place 34 times? And but that's how much it meant to me. It's just, I've been in love with it, and it's extended my surfing life, a lot more than I probably would have if I just not had a place to go to get fit for, to train when I knew a trip was coming up, it extended my surfing life. But I could just imagine what all these people from, France or whatever countries they're from going, he's been here 34 times, God.
Well played, Baz, well played.
Isn't there another island that he likes?
Yeah, nice work, Baz, that's solid. Bobo, I'd just like to touch on, we're all stoked that you had an awesome holiday and got heaps of waves and all that sort of shit, but... mate, what's the worst surf trip you've ever gone on? You got one that sticks out for one reason or another? Because let's be honest, they make for better stories.
Yeah. Have you got a little bit of time?
Yeah, mate.
Okay.
Has anyone got some time?
Anyone got time?
We got some time?
Oh, he's got some time. Bring it up here. Can you bring the time up?
Well, 1974, I went up. We were in London with a mate of mine, Lance Reynolds, and we decided...
Did you say Dane Reynolds?
Lance.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
He's a Margaret River dude. You know him, Billy. We decided, we were going to head down back home via Bali. God, I don't know how long to make this. But
We want the full version. I
All
don't know about
okay,
anyone else. I got
okay,
work
all
tomorrow, but I
right,
really
so
don't give a shit right now. I just want to hear the story.
We rocked up at Heathrow Airport, went to check in to Singapore, London, Singapore, and the hostie said, sorry, we can't let you on the flight. Your hair's too long.
You sure this is you? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is in the days of this dude called Lee Kuan Yew, who was the boss of Singapore. So he said, well, what are we going to do? She said, oh, come beyond and check out counter and we'll give you a haircut. So they put a bowl on her head and cut our locks off. And off we went, and we got to Singapore Airport, and we went through immigration. And they said, sorry, mate, your hair's too long. And they said, all right, your hair's too long. Still too long. We'll give you a 3-hour visa to go into town and get your hair cut and come back out and we'll let you in. So we only wanted to go into town and get a ticket from Singapore to Jakarta return because the Bali airport wasn't open. So anyhow, cut a long story short, we ended up getting a ticket to Jakarta, got the 3rd class train from Jakarta down to Bungawangi and got the ferry across to Gilmanuk, and then got the bus to Denpasar and arrived in Bali.
So just a quick trip to Bali then, quick Bali run.
Yeah, I don't want to make this too long, but anyhow.
Mate, take your time. We're all here to hear the stories. Don't shorten it.
We were in Bali for 3 months all up, but after probably 3 or 4 weeks, we decided it's a bit crowded here. Like, you know, 10 guys out at Igalus. Fuck, this is getting a bit out of hand. So we looked at the map and we went, I reckon there'd be swell hitting over there at Lombok. So we went, got a bus across to East Coast, got the ferry to Lombok, got a bus to as far as the roads, till the roads finished, and then got a boat across this place called Lembar. We got a boat across to the other side of the bay, and then we started walking. We had a pack and a surfboard, and we're heading for this place called Bangko. And we started heading off. We asked the first bloke we came to, how far is Bangko? He said, oh, it's kilometre up the road. So we kept walking.
Indos and directions are never a good combination, eh?
So we walked for about 4 hours, about 10 k's, and we asked the next bloke how far to Bangko. He said, oh, 10 k's, about a kilometre up the road.
Just around the corner.
So we walked all that day, and it started getting dark, so we had a sleeping bag in our pack.
I was about to say, did you have any provisions at all? Or?
No, but there are little warrums along the way, and we could eat. And so we went to sleep that night and got up next morning. There's a little village not far.
So you pretty much walked for a whole day at this stage?
Yeah, whole day.
Okay.
Whole day.
Yeah, just setting the scene.
Little village, and they fed us.
Oh, yeah?
And before we headed off, we said, how far is it, Bangko? I said, it's a kilometre up the road.
Okay?
We'd walked about 10 k's by now. So we walked, I'm trying to keep this short, but we walked the whole of the next day.
Wow.
And we were walking up these sort of coastline was like my hand, you know. And we ended
Smooth
up...
and lubricated.
Yeah. We ended up in a swamp.
Malaria infested.
Yeah, ended up in a swamp, and we heard this. We knew where the coast was, so we didn't sort of go and, you know, we weren't lost. But we heard this tap, tap, tap. We followed the noise and found this old dude fixing up his little dugout canoe.
Oh, yeah.
And we asked him, said, "Hey, mate, where's Banco Banco?"
It's $1 million question at this stage, isn't it?
He said, "Dissini."
Here?
Here. Yeah, this is Banco Banco. We went, oh, fuck.
That's a swamp.
Swamp. We looked up and it was just desolate. You know, really quite a big hill, and it was just desolate. So we went, oh, shit. We better get to the coast so we know where we are. So we headed through this. I dropped my pack and board with Lance, and I said, I reckon the coastline's through there. So I ran through there, and sure enough it was. So we walked through and slept the night on the beach, and woke up in the morning and just looked around us and went, oh, shit. We can't survive out here. We were hoping Banco would have a bank so we could cash a few travellers' checks. You know?
Mate, they would have barely had rupiah out there in those days, would they? Nothing. Would have been all rice and fish trades going down.
So anyhow, we just woke up in the morning and we looked around us and it was just so desolate. So there was a boat that had come in overnight. They'd been out there collecting firewood, and we said, oh, we got to ride with these guys.
That's
back.
when you know it's desolate, when they're getting firewood from the ocean, right?
Yeah. Well, no, they'd been out there collecting firewood off the land, and we got to ride back to Lembar with them.
And there was no waves at all where you were, obviously.
No waves at all.
Yeah.
And then, it must have been about 20 years later.
You made it back.
No, mate. No. So we just went back and followed our tracks back to Bali and finished off our trip there. But about 20 years later, my mate Baz McKinnon had.
Where is Baz, by the way?
He's
usually pretty much in here every day.
I saw him today, actually.
Oh, really?
He had just been to Desert Point and was raving about it.
Oh, no.
And I went, oh, fuck, I know Desert Point's near Banco.
It's only about 1K up the road from Banco.
And he gave me a phone number of this guy that we had a bit of a deal that he would pick me up at the airport and take me out to Desert Point. And he did. And we rocked up there. And I couldn't believe how long it took to get from Lembar to Desert Point.
Yeah.
Like how far we'd walked. It must have been 25 k's or something.
Yeah, no kidding. 2 days.
And I've got to collect my thoughts here and know where I was.
But, so 20 years later, Baz has got this guy to pick you up and drive you there.
Yeah, okay. So the guy drives me to Desert Point.
Yeah.
And I said to the guys, how far is it to Banco? And I said...
What did he say?
He said it's just a kilometre up the road.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So now hang on.
Hold on.
It's not finished. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go to Banco and to that beach that we slept on that night.
Yeah.
So I got about as much water as I could carry.
Yeah.
It's pretty hot now. And I started walking, and sure enough, Bango Bango was about a kilometre down the road. And I walked about 500 metres past Bango Bango, and that was the beach that we slept
About 500
on.
metres where you slept.
Yeah,
Wow.
so what it boils down to is we were a kilometre away from Bango Bango in 1974.
Wow.
And I don't believe they surfed it till 1985 or something.
What? Oh, that's heavy, man. See, I told you the worst surf trips are way better than the best ones.
Yeah.
That was an epic tale, Bob.
And I did get a surf out at
Oh, you
Bango
did?
Bango just before I was due to fly back. The swell came up and had a pretty good surf out there. Couldn't believe
Awesome.
how good it was.
I'm glad you
So
scored
that's
it.
my worst surf trip.
That is an absolute ripper of a story, mate. That's one of the better ones. That's one of the better ones. That was fantastic. 1 kilometre, eh?
Well, I've
Pretty
got
sure-
one.
I'm pretty sure Banco Banco translates death.
Death.
Yeah, it was something.
It means dead.
Dead.
Does it?
Yeah.
Dead.
Dead. Really?
Yeah. And basically where Bob was,
Yeah.
it's a malaria-infested pit.
Yeah.
Because
Desolate
I
wasteland.
got malaria there.
Wow.
Going to the surf camp there.
Have you been there, Hilsey?
Yeah, we went in with Dane. Sorry, we went in with Dane, a crazy Kiwi, Neil Strong. Caught the ferry across from Penang Bai to I don't know, whatever port you pull into it in Lombok, and made our way to Mataram. And then, actually, first off, we were actually, where we were at the port, we wanted to get a map, and we kept on pointing at the map, and it took 2 hours to realise that we couldn't buy that map, but we could buy a map. So that was hilarious. And then we got to Mataran, and then we wake up in the morning because we had boards all on this Land Cruiser. I'd taken this Land Cruiser short wheelbase across, and that was hilarious enough, trying to get it onto the boat. But it was, we got there, and this young guy, Muzza, turned up and said, "Do you want a guide?" And we went, "Yes, yeah." And so he took us out to Banco Banco. And at that stage, Bobby Radisi had built a camp out there, but it had been abandoned, and we'd spent a fair bit of money with Bobby already going to Grudgegan, because he ran the camp there at Bobby's at G-Land, and Bobby happened to be there checking on the camp, and we went, "All right, well, can we stay here?" And he said, "No worries, you can stay here for free, but there's no power or anything like that." So we got the power all hooked up. Because it was generator done as such sort of thing, and the caretaker there, and then it's a K, as Bob said, it's a K walk around from the camp or Banco around there, and actually at a full tide you can't get round because you're walking along the beach, and so we had this young fella Muzza, we'd go and surf it, and he'd come around at lunchtime and run around our jaffles and our coke, and you know it wasn't too bad actually.
Yeah, it sounded pretty good.
But we rocked up there, and there's 3 guys there too, and they were camped under one tree, and they were virtually, they were starving, these guys, and they were living off carrots and cabbage. And they gave us a bum steer. They said that...
it was 1 kilometre away.
Yeah, no, they said the break was a full tide break.
Oh,
so we
did
kept
they?
on turning up there on a full tide.
Oh, no.
And it was fucking shit. So finally they were that fucking hungry that we invited them back for a feed, and we got them pissed, and they told us it's a fucking low tide.
Nice.
So then we ended up surfing. But again, these guys were, we asked them where they were from. They said they were from the Bluff. And I went, "Well, none of you look like a goat." And, and it turned out we had a Kiwi, and we had 2 guys from Queensland. And, but yeah, they were really doing it pretty hard out through there. But even then, the track in was all like the worst limestone capstone track. It was like early days at Ulu sort of thing, trying to get in there and trying to smash this Land Cruiser through. You know how you got the throttle sort of way of running your accelerator. We were basically having that and just getting smashed around the whole time, getting in there. But we surfed Desert Point for 10 days, really by ourselves.
Sick.
And our 3 mates that told us it was a full tide wave sort of thing.
Your 3 new best mates.
Yeah, exactly. But and we didn't get it. we didn't get it as epic as you've seen it in the movies and stuff like that, but we had it at 4 to 6 foot. So
sounds
it's
pretty good.
It is. If any of you guys or girls have ever been there, it is the most perfect barrel in the world, I'd say.
Yeah, right. Sweet.
You know, we've been surfing Grudgigan where it lips out from the top, and you've got to sit a bit higher, and there's a lot more sectiony. Where this thing was like a video game.
Yeah, right.
The way it works. So yeah,
awesome.
But yeah, I haven't been back since 1989. I came back home and I got malaria from there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You got something there, Baz, or we can throw it to the crowd for a couple of
It's not
quick
going
ones?
to be as exotic and as primitive as what these two stories I just heard, which are pretty insane. But it's a story with no surf involved, but a surf trip. So in about 1970, something like that, the Phillip Island board riders in Victoria decided to hold what was then deemed to be the very first professional surfing contest in Australia. And they'd put up $500 for prize money, which no one had... Well, you just didn't offer prize money. It was just, you know, it was... If people had a contest, you came first, second and third and got a trophy. So we're in South Australia, so it's about an 8-hour drive over to Victoria, and about 5 of us decide that we're going to go over for this contest in Phillip Island. So on the Friday night, I think we'd found out that our heats were, because we're from interstate, they'd put us in later heats the next day. So we drove over on the Friday night, and it was about 4 a.m. in the morning, and I'm driving. I'm going through Ballarat, so we're 3/4 of the way to where we were going. And I drove through town. It's about, you know, like I said, pretty early in the morning, but there was a petrol station still open. So I decided that I better turn around and pull into the service station and grab fuel while we could, because we may not see another one, and I can't remember, maybe the tank was getting a bit low. So I pulled in, was filling up petrol. Everyone else is asleep in the car, and one of the guys wakes up and he goes, "Hey Baz, do you want me to drive now?" And I go, "Oh look, I'm okay." And I'd been driving for an hour and a half or something like that, but I didn't feel tired. So, but I said, "Look, you know," he said, no, I'm really awake. He said, "You know, why don't you grab some shut-eye and I'll drive?" And I just said, "Well, look, just remember, just stay on Highway 1. So he goes out of the thing, he's on Highway 1, and at about 5:30 in the morning, no, it would have been later than that. It was light anyway, but it was winter time, so maybe it was 6:30, something like that. I can just hear everyone yelling, and we're back in Mount Gambier. We've driven right the way through the night, got to Bendigo, and then everyone else was asleep, and we woke up in Mount Gambier. So we never got to the contest, and so that's a no-surf contest. That's a no-surf trip for me. But
oh, that's a good one. How many Ks roughly would that have been round trip?
Oh,
roughly?
well, it was 8 hours driving each way. So we did 12 hours in the car.
Really?
And we rolled up back at the beach where, you know, all our mates and everything were surfing, and they're saying, "We're just talking about, you know, how you going?" And we've just rolled up. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. We've just driven all the way through the night.
Yeah.
So it was about 12 hours of driving.
Wow.
For nothing.
Probably like 800-900 Ks at least.
Yeah.
That's
Something
solid.
like that. Yeah.
That's a solid loop, man. I think we're about to wrap it up. Should
Like
we throw
the,
it to the crowd for anyone got anything pressing? Oh, there's a quick hand.
All
the
right.
cowboy, the sheriff. I always call him the cowboy. Sheriff, get up here, mate. We can't. No, you got to get up here, mate.
Come on,
Everyone's got to. We're recording.
We need to
so
hear the question.
Jack Medlin from Moonshine Surfboards,
Jack.
a shaper himself, and a bit of a ripper. He's been on the potty before, and I believe we're going to go do a show at his shop soon with Ev over there.
I'd just like to say and ask, hypothetically speaking, not to any one individual of these four famous fellows, but hypothetically speaking, what would take construction of the perfect chillum? Hypothetically speaking. Billy, I'll start with you.
Bottleneck, mate. Bottleneck any day.
Bottleneck. A King Brown bottleneck. Is that pretty standard?
Standard.
That's the South African method, right?
Yeah. South African, God.
Yeah.
What, you use
Hey,
Darwin
make a pipe, bro. Make a pipe.
Come on, mate. Everyone knows the Margaret River Madness can take Durban poison to the cleaner. How did you do it? Did you sand them down, or what was the process?
No.
I don't know, man. I only made Gatorade bottle bongs. I don't know chill 'em long necks. Tell me.
Stick it in the fire and then chuck it in the cold water.
See?
In a perfect circle.
Does it? Fantastic. Good
All right,
question.
all right.
Nice.
Until we have this sort of situation legally in this country,
It is. I got a prescription, remember?
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else got a question?
Crowd question.
for our
Yeah,
panel?
nice work, Sheriff. Nice work. What do we got? Question?
Anyone else?
Who we got? Anyone? Arnsey. I knew Arnsey would have one. Get
Arnsey.
up here, Arnsey. Yeah, Arnsey.
He might have a limerick for us. We never know.
I got a story.
Oh, he's got a story. Shit, here we go.
Good?
This guy is going to come on and do a 3-hour interview with me one day. One day.
Possibly. So this story... This story is about this shop. And so I've come in here and Scotty Eves has got the Putu single fin challenge on and I need a single fin board. So I've thought, fuck, I know where the single fins are. So I've come in here and I've spoken to Wade and I've gone, hey Wade, I need a single fin. He's gone, oh mate, you cannot have any of these surfboards from this shop. And I've gone, really? And I've gone, well, Oggy told me different. He's gone, really? And I've gone, yeah. So he's gone, and we've looked at each other, and I've gone, look, ring him. So he's got one of the boys to ring Oggy, and they passed me the phone, and I just went, this is my opportunity, ads. So, so they passed me the phone, and it's ringing, and before it's rung, it's ringing out, and I've just gone, Oggy, how are you, mate? It's Arns. And he's gone, yeah. Oh, well, he didn't say it was ringing. So there's no answer. So I've gone, so Wade's told me I can't take a board. And he's gone, I've gone, oh yeah, all right, cool. So I can take anything I like. Yeah. And I've gone, oh, you howler, Oggy, thank you so much. I appreciate this, big time. So I've handed the phone back, hung it up, handed it back, and we've got the ladder out and see the black single fin? Oh, yeah. I've got that down, and I've walked out the shop with it. And I had it for 3 days. Bought it back, and when I bought it back, Wade's looking at me going,
Oh, Hansi.
So that was pretty good.
Go on, give a round of applause, everybody.
Yeah, that was good. I like that. Well played, Arnsey. And how long did it take you to find out there, Wade, that he'd pulled... No, come up here, come on.
To be fair, as soon as he got off the phone, he's got James to start ripping it down. And Yeah, with the ladder. And as he's walking out, I've said to James, did you actually talk to Oggy? No, I was like, oh. Because if you know Arns, you know that that was always on the cards.
Well played, Arnsey.
That was Wado's last day.
Yeah, mate, Arnsey he'll do a lot of things for a good single fin, Arnsey. He knows no boundaries.
All right, we are going to wrap up the actual recorded part of this episode. We are going to jump into the raffle shortly, but before we do, I would like to acknowledge and say thank you so much to Mr. Billy Gibson.
Thanks, mate.
Such a pleasure having you on the show again, Billy. Thank you very much, Mr. Baz Young.
Thank you. Great. Good to be here.
Second time on the show, Mr. Mark Hilty Hills. And I think we might crowdfund for a couple of things tonight, but one thing we might crowdfund for is a compass for Mr. Bob Monkman. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Adam Kennedy.
Thank you. Thanks, DJ Namu, for doing all your technical stuff, and thanks to Yahoo for
creating a community surf cultural event on a Sunday night for all of us who love surfing to come in such an epic place and hang out and just, feel the love for surfing. Good stuff. Thanks, Yahoo.
Thanks for coming, everyone, and we will do the raffle shortly.
You guys consider it.